Hey there, hey there. What is going on, my friend? Came on here once again to impart an encouraging word, some motivation and inspiration just for you. This is Jerome Shaw, host of the Open Palm Podcast, coming at you live, if you're watching this live right now. And I want to impart this word to you today, just before I fly out. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for joining. So I've got all my bags packed here. Just before I hit the lift and head to the airport, I wanted to drop in here and give you a nice word from today. Y'all, we took so many notes, like it's crazy. So, yeah, just to go through a little bit for you and give you this word. Thank you for joining once again. Appreciate you, Davey. Appreciate you, V. Mikelski. Thank you for joining and being here. So the first message that we got today, that I got today, was that environment is everything. Your environment. You know, it is easy, they say, to be successful in the right environment, but it is darn near impossible to be successful in the wrong environment. And it's like a rose in the Dubai desert. It's tough to grow in the wrong environment. So understanding that, hey, of course, my friend. Mikowski said, thank you for the messages. Thank you for receiving. You know, it's important to be in the right environment, you know. The company you keep matters because the energy that you surround yourself with, it matters, you know. So we can understand these things. There was a wonderful story, actually, and this was a story about the egg, the carrot, and the coffee bean. So, if I remember correct, there was a daughter of a mother who was complaining about life and complaining that she had things rough. Hey, Julia, thank you for joining. And so the mother put 3 pots on the stove and set them to boiling. And she said, you know, your situation, right? Let's see what we can learn from this. The mom said, in one pot, put an egg. In the second pot, put a carrot. And in the third pot, put coffee beans. So the daughter did as she asked. And after a while, they got cooking. And she turned off the stove and took a look at the items inside the pots. And she said, well, would you look at there? Check out that first pot. And the daughter looked in the first pot and seen the egg. And she said, oh, wow, it's hard boiled. And the mom said, yes, observe that. The egg went in hard and it came out hard, right? Isn't that something? The boiling water, what it did to the egg. Now take a look at the carrot. Oh, wow. The carrot went in hard, but it came out soft, right? Now take a look at the coffee beans. The coffee beans went in one form and changed into a whole new form. So when life comes at us, when stress comes at us, when hardship comes at us, when obstacles comes at us, just like that boiling pot of water, these circumstances, events, situations around us, what will you do? Will you harden like the egg? Will you soften like the carrot? Or like the coffee beans, will you transmute that energy and change it into a whole new form? Making the best out of even the worst situations, being able to alchemize the circumstances that happen not to you, but for you. to transmute and transform. Mikowski says, this message is speaking to me. I've been debating on moving, and I have been hesitant on it, but I know it's the right thing for me to do. Wow. Listen to your heart, my friend. Thank you for being. Hey there, Tamika. Thank you for joining. Hey, Chris. What's happening? So, there was Inky Johnson, one of my favorite motivational speakers, came up, and he talked about giving thanks continuously. You know, he gave a whole bunch of different stories and how gratitude has helped him so much in life, and how you never know who might have a message for you. Just like you could have a message for another person. Never underestimate a human being in life, and knowing that each one can teach one to reach one. He said that speaking is not the stage. It is about the legacy moments. And to never prostitute your gift. Never compromise your standards. It doesn't matter any amount of money. Because when you lose money, you lose nothing. When you lose your health, you lose something. But when you lose your character, you lose everything. Okay? So that was an important lesson. Never worry about what the next person is doing. Understanding that comparison is the thief of all joy. We needn't worry about or concern ourselves with what other people are doing. There's no competition. Collaboration in life. Hey, George. Hey, Haruka. Thanks for joining. How y'all doing? Appreciate you, peaceful warrior. The best way to kill a big dream is to introduce it to a small mind. Have you ever told someone a dream of yours and they shot it down? Oh, you'll never do that, right? How are you gonna ever do that, right? How are you gonna ever make that manifest? Hey, Tracy. Appreciate you. So never introduce a big dream to a small mind. That's setting yourself up for disappointment, setting it up for termination. Haruka asks, what do you mean by character? Integrity. You know, the intangibles, the things that we build through our experience, the things we build up in life. So when you lose your character, when you lose your standards, when you lose who you are at the core of your being, when you lose your integrity, you lose a lot more than money. Money you can get back. But can you get back faith and confidence in yourself if you've let yourself down? It's tough. It's tough to get that back. So, you don't learn how to swim by putting your toe in. You don't learn how to swim by just dipping your toe in the water, right? You gotta dive in, you know? You gotta splishity splash a little bit, right? Just like they say, you cannot know if you like a watermelon or not by licking its surface. You lick the surface of a watermelon, how do you know what it tastes, right? You don't know if it's sweet, if it's this or that, right? You don't know if you like it or not. You gotta cut it open. You gotta slice that thing. You gotta really get into it. Just like diving in a pool of water or getting into the ocean, just sticking your toe in is not gonna do it for you. So understanding, giving it your all, you know, pushing your stack of chips on the poker table in life, saying, I'm all in. You gotta say, I'm all in sometimes. So they say it has to work or it has to work. Two options. It has to work or it has to work. Not giving yourself a way out sometimes. Burning your boats, right? Hitting the island, setting shore, dropping the anchor, and then burning the boats, right? There's no going back. We are trudging on, come what may, right? No plan B, for it distracts from plan A. It has to work or it has to work. Become mentally unemployable. I love that. One of the speakers today said he became mentally unemployable. I believe I became that way back in 2018-19. Yeah, 2019 for sure. That was the last time I worked for anybody. And the job was good too. It wasn't a bad job at all. I was paid to essentially be a DJ announcer at a kids' dance competition, and they flew me all over the country. The flights were paid for, the meals were paid for, the hotels were paid for. I basically didn't have to take out my wallet for each weekend, and we were there for like a few days, and then we would fly back. Everything was taken care of. And I went to many different states and cities and hotels and seen a lot of stuff. But I still told myself, okay, I see the price. I'm getting paid. But at what cost? I still have to answer to somebody. I still have to tell somebody, can I have time off? Can I go visit my family? Can I go see my parents? My mom is sick. She's in the hospital. Would I be able to have these days? And I thought to myself, not having to answer to somebody in that way is priceless. You can't put a price on it. So I decided that I would become mentally unemployable. And I remember I was in a library parking lot in Los Angeles, California, asking myself, man, wouldn't it be wonderful to just be able to go hiking whenever I wanted, go, wherever I wanted, go and on adventures and just, explore. And it was like a voice came. I don't know if it was my voice or some other voice, but I heard it clear as day, and it said, well, just do it. Like, what's stopping you? Like, why aren't you? All right, can you hear me now? Are we back? Hopefully we're back. All right, cool. Let me know if you can still hear me. So, they said many don't succeed because they keep deviating. They're wishy-washy. They're going in and out, right? They're sticking their toe in. They say, it's cold, And they just keep going to the next. It's funny. There's an example. Think of somebody drilling for oil, right? And they drill, right? And they don't strike oil. And so they say, there must be no oil. Let me go here, right? And they drill. And they say, there's no oil here. Let me try here. They drill. Dang it, no oil. Darn. They drill. Darn it, where is the oil? And they keep swapping, keep flip-flopping, keep deviating, right? Keep changing their path. And then somebody else comes along who isn't as smart, right? Who isn't as intellectual, we'll say. Who isn't as educated. And they come along and they take their drill and they find a spot. I don't know, this spot looks nice. And they just drill. And just keep drilling. 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 And boom! They strike oil. Now what was the difference? What happened? They did not deviate. They kept going. So, it may be simple, but it's not always easy. But sometimes People don't succeed because they quit too early. I'm doing this, they said, for family and future. In order to be prolific, you need to be specific. So in order to be prolific, you got to get specific. Write it down. What is it that you really want in life? How do you see your ideal lifestyle? What do you see it looking like for you? Right? What do you see yourself doing? Where do you see yourself going? How do you see yourself spending your time each day? Write it down. When you design it on paper, you achieve it on purpose, you know? So write these things down. Don't leave things up to chance and happenstance, circumstance, right? Write it down. Make it intentional. They say many people's dreams don't come true because they don't have a penalty. That was another one too. Make it costly. Sometimes pleasure is not enough. Sometimes you got to think about pain. What happens if I don't do this? 5 years from now, if I don't go for it, if I just stay where I am, if I just settle for average, because we understand that everything that settles is at the bottom, right? It's settling. What happens if I don't? Right? Think about that. Really visualize that. Create the pain in advance, and it can actually push you and propel you to get going. It can give you that fuel that you need. Because understand, motivation is kind of like rocket fuel. You know, it gets you going really fast, but it burns out just as quickly. So sometimes you need a little more than motivation. Sometimes you need things like discipline, right? And discipline can lead to willpower. So habits, establish good habits, but write things down. And knowing that you have a penalty can actually make the choice a little easier. We have different motivations in life. Some people are motivated by going towards pleasure and avoiding pain. We want to move towards pleasure and move away from pain, right? But there is no pain without pleasure, and there is no pleasure without pain if you think about it. What's pleasurable today can be painful tomorrow. But if you put yourself through pain now, you could have a pleasurable future if you look at it that way. So the pain you feel today could be the pleasure you experience tomorrow. Some people are a rose, right, in a Dubai desert. Get around people who fit your future and not your past. Who is in your circle? Are these people fitting your future, or do they fit your past? And it's a hard pill to swallow when we can understand that certain people in our circle are not fitting. Like when you try to stuff a square peg in a round hole, they don't fit, right? And sometimes you don't even need to kick people out your circle. They'll exit themselves. When you start elevating, when you start increasing your vibration, when you start being grateful, when you start reading, when you start cultivating your energy, when you start influencing your mind for the better. My friend told me, on your elevator of life, as you go up, certain people will get off on their floor. So people, surround yourself with people who fit your future and not your past. Surround yourself with people who are propelling you forward and not pulling you back. Haruka says, what sort of pain? So when we talk about pain versus pleasure, the motivating factors, you could think to yourself, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I go to the gym day after day, I'll get muscles. I'll be stronger. I'll be more fit. I'll be more healthy. I'll be more attractive. I'll feel better. And when I feel better, I'll do better, right? These are all pleasurable things. These are all things that you can attain if you have a habit of going to the gym. For some people, that's not enough, right? The pleasure is not enough. What they need to do is create the pain of not doing that thing in advance. What happens if you don't go to the gym? What happens if you don't work out? What happens if you don't exercise? What happens if you don't change your state of being in that way? What happens? Only you can answer that. Imagine in your mind. So whatever that thing is that you want to do, whatever the habit is that you're striving to develop, if it's difficult for you to develop it by anticipating the pleasure, then create the pain in advance. The pain of not doing that thing. What does your life look 5 years from now if you don't do it? Sometimes that's a great motivator. Pain can be a really great teacher in life. Whatever entertains you, trains you. Ooh, whatever you tune into, you turn into. Ah! So let me say that again. Rewind. Whatever you tune into, you turn into, right? Whatever entertains you, trains you. So if we're on YouTube, right, and we're watching all these kitty cat videos, we're watching all these skits, comedy, we're watching all these things, and not saying anything is wrong with that, right? But if you're just watching entertainment all the time, if you're just watching celebrities all the time, if you're just watching gossip all the time, if you're just watching, things that are juicy but don't give you any life, don't move the needle forward in your mindset, your business, right? Don't help you cultivate a sense of being that is moving you forward. Whatever entertains you, trains you. It's teaching you something. And your subconscious mind is always listening. It never misses a beat. The conscious mind processes a few bits of information at a time, while the subconscious processes like hundreds of thousands of bits, at a time. So while I'm talking to you right now, you may be listening to my voice, you may see my face, right? But your subconscious mind is picking up on everything. It sees each button on my shirt. It sees the color. It sees my hair, right? It sees my eyes. It sees my teeth, my lips, my beard. It sees the surroundings behind me, right? It's hearing the music in the background right now. It's picking up on everything. And everything is auto-logged into the subconscious. So, whatever entertains you, trains you. Understand the power of the subconscious mind knows no bounds. It's governing everything. Everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that we think, it happens at the root level. So in order to change the fruit, you got to change the root. Change the cause, and you change the effect. If we are not getting the results that we desire in life, look at your daily activities. Literally, you can write down everything that you do in one day, and it will kind of point you in the right direction of where are you going. I think there's a Chinese proverb that says, if you do not know where you're going, you may end up where you're headed. Right? You ever heard of Alice in Wonderland? The story of Alice in Wonderland, she fell down the rabbit hole. I'm late for a very important date, right? One day she met on a fork in the road. She was at a crossroads and she seen a tree. And up in the tree, there was a Cheshire cat. Sly cat, right? And this Cheshire cat looked down at her and smiled and she said, "Oh, please, Sir, can you point me in the right direction? Should I go this way or should I go that way? And the Cheshire Cat looked at her, and pondered, and asked, well, where are you going? And Alice told the cat, well, I don't know. And the cat said, oh, well, I guess it doesn't matter then. If you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter which path you head down. You're gonna end up where you're headed. So having a sense of direction in life, like someone once asked Aristotle, how does one make it to Mount Olympus? And Aristotle said, by simply ensuring that each step you take is in the direction of Mount Olympus. And you will surely get there. I mean, you might have to traverse over some things, but you will surely get there. You see it in the distance. So that is like having a sense of direction in life. That is like writing down your goals. That is like writing down your aspirations, your manifestations, your affirmations, the things that you want to make manifest in life. Make sure that you actually have a goal, right? Somewhere. And the goals might change, but have somewhere you're going, a sense of direction. Or else, it doesn't really matter which path you take. So, put your reps in. What you must do today. Information changes your situation, but only with implementation. Some people get addicted to education and allergic to execution. Woo! One more again. Information changes your situation, but only with implementation. Some people are addicted to education and allergic to execution. So what does that mean to you? You know, I could definitely say that I was one of those people who was soaking up all the knowledge that I could, right? Reading all the books and doing none of the things, right? Just reading for the sake of reading. It's like success porn. Success porn, like getting aroused by the possibilities of doing something, a new idea, a new venture, a new course of action, a new something, a new this, a new that. SOS, right? Shiny object syndrome, trying to do this and that, being a treasure hunter, always digging for the next thing, never taking action on the last thing, and never giving the last thing my all to say that I actually tried. Right? Have you ever been there? Have you ever been watching success porn, maybe on YouTube, looking at all the ways that you could implement, but never taking action, never executing? Just addicted to learning more. Nothing wrong with learning, of course. The book you don't read won't help you, right? A book on the shelf is not self-help, it's shelf-help. It's collecting dust over there, right? But knowledge is not power. As they say, applied knowledge is power. So this was a wonderful message for me to understand that information can change your situation, but only through implementation. People spend more time on their head than in their head. That's a good one. Raise your success loves speed. Disconnect from the price. Success loves speed. Let me see. Millionaires meditate each morning just before thinking. Just Oh, just thinking about their dream. So there are certain individuals that will wake up in the rising and they will just spend the first few hours of their day visualizing, meditating, thinking about how they want their day to go, how they want their life to go, how they want their year to go, how they want the next 5 years to go, right? Seeing it in advance. I learned this from Dr. Wayne Dyer. For some people, seeing is believing, while for others, believing is seeing. Sometimes you gotta see it before you see it. Sometimes you gotta be it before you see it. But are you waiting to see the tangible things before you receive confirmation that it's already yours? Or maybe like Walt Disney, you can see the theme park before it is even built. Maybe like Steph Curry, you can see the ball go in with your eyes closed. You ever seen Steph Curry on the court? There's a picture of him shooting a 3 from back, all the way back there. And he's got his eyes closed. It's amazing. Mikowski said, story of my life, probably a lot of others. You can't just be a hearer, you must be a doer. Yes. Yeah. Most definitely, my friend. Yeah. Don't just let it go through one ear and out the other, right? Right? Information just going through one ear, out the other. Let it stay a while, you know? But just like Bruce Lee said, if you think too much about a thing, you'll never get it done. At a certain point, we gotta take action. Because action is half of attraction. Let's see here. Grow. You grow when you don't... how can you grow when you don't let anything go? Yeah, that was a big one for me too. Understanding, how can I grow if I don't let anything go? You know? What are we holding on to that could be holding us back in life? This is the question. Real leaders don't need motivation, they need information. They don't need resources, they have resourcefulness. Having one source of income is too close to none. Find a way to have 6- and 7-figure conversations. I like this one. Your proximity will equal your velocity. Your proximity equals your velocity. Who you get around, who you listen to, the knowledge that you absorb. You know, it's interesting. They say that an airplane, ironically, I'm about to go take my flight right now. But they say an airplane burns 30% of its fuel during takeoff. Just to get up there, right? It's got to reach escape velocity. So when we're doing something, we got to understand that sometimes things take a certain amount of effort in the beginning to exert this effort, like you're pushing a boulder up a mountain. But once you get to the tipping point, it only takes a small amount of force to get that boulder rolling, to have the snowball effect. So that's what you can have in your life when you reach that escape velocity. How much, and I'll end on this one because I really do have to go. My flight, I don't want to miss it. And thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Thank you. The last thing, I'll leave with the question. And we'll do another part of this. How much is the best version of you worth? I mean, think about it. Ask yourself. You can comment below if you want, but just ask yourself that question. How much is the best version of you worth? Right? They say, if you do not sacrifice for your dream, then your dream becomes your sacrifice. These were the things I had to ask myself. How much is it worth? How much is it worth to you? Right? At what cost? And understanding that if you're looking for comfort and security, oftentimes you have to give up that comfort and security for a time so that you can transcend and go beyond and find yourself at a place where you do have more comfort and security. But giving up good for great. They say good is the enemy of great. I remember that in a book. My friend told me about this. There's a book from good to great. And in the first page of the very first chapter, it said, good is the enemy of great. My friend closed the book. He was done with the book. It taught him all he needed to know in that first page. And he went out and he executed. He went out and he implemented. Just that one idea was all he needed to spark. Good is the enemy of great. That's it. That's all he needed from that book. I had the same experience when I read this one book called The Knowledge Book. It was a thick book, thick book. I'm talking thousands of pages. It looked like hundreds of pages at least. And it was in a library in Pasadena, California. And I opened this book, and in the first chapter, it had a quote by Albert Einstein in this book called The Knowledge Book, right? And Albert Einstein had a quote in there, and it said, imagination is more important than knowledge. I closed the book. I was done with the book. I said, thank you, knowledge book. Thank you. I could have spent all my time perusing, scouring this book for the secrets, the knowledge, right? But there it is. Imagination is more important than knowledge, right? Can you imagine? Can you believe? Can you think for yourself of a brighter future? Of a more fulfilling life for you, for your family, for those that you love and care for and think about? Those that are rooting for you, those that are cheering you on. What would you not do? What would you not sacrifice? What price would you not pay? What is the greatest version of you worth? And I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much, my friend, for being. Thank you for listening. I gotta get out to my flight. I would stay with you all day if I could, but I definitely don't want to miss it. I gotta head back. Thank you so much for breathing with us in this space. Thank you for being here. If you were live, go ahead and hashtag live. And if you're on the replay right now watching this, hashtag replay, tag somebody in this video who you feel would gain value from this message, be it a friend or a family member. Drop a nugget of wisdom for us if you feel like we could gain something of value, and we would love to hear your message as well. Jump in my DMs, get acquainted with me. I would love to learn about your story, your healing journey, if you're on a path, be it the pranic path, or any questions you might have on breatharianism as well. I love to answer these questions. Jump in the bio and check out the Open Palm podcast. That is the Open Palm podcast, and that is the link in the bio for you, your listening pleasure, your daily inspiration, my friend. Be well, be blessed, and make the rest of your life and the breath of your life the best of your life, my friend. Much love. Take care. And we will catch you again very, very soon. Take care. Much love.